All right, so I'm ready to go ahead and have a conversation with you guys that you might be uncomfortable with. Here we go. Let's begin. First of all, J. Cole is better than Kendrick Lamar. All right, this is what it is. Okay, J. Cole has probably been better than J. Cole. Oh god. J. Cole better. Nah, J. Cole's probably been better than Kendrick Lamar for like probably the last, I'd say 6 years. Probably the last 6 years. Yeah. He's been better than him. And let me tell you why, guys. All right. I'm so tired of this. All right. You guys have been sucking the Kendrick. Get his black cock out of your mouth. Okay. You guys got to stop it. The Kendrick sucking is a little bit, it's too much for me. Okay. First and foremost, number one. Okay. Your first issue is this. All right. In the beginning, Kendrick Lamar was cool. All right. It was all right. It was fine. Okay. He was one of the best rappers probably to come out in the last 10 years, right? Tops, right? Probably, if not the best, right? Every cypher he was on, it was amazing. Every time he would get on a freestyle in the radio stations, it was amazing. Like, bro, I'm telling you right now, he'd be like, what about that? And he got that, bro, oh my goodness. Like, when I hear, right? Man, rapping. I'm talking about rapping like the rent is fucking due. Okay? So, that's the first, start off of Kendrick Lamar. You're right. Obviously, Section 8 changes. Butterfly, right? Damn, right? You start to see an evolution of like, damn, this nigga could really spit for real, right? He's a rapper. He's a rapper's rapper, right? And then you start understanding something, right? Then we go into, the hiatus. And then coming back with Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. I mean, he made the Black Panther album, obviously. Can't forget about that. Classic. But still, nonetheless, though, he felt like he contributed to the culture, right? I made a Black Panther album, for God's sake. I made To Pimp a Butterfly, for God's sake. I talked about Section 80, for God's sake. Okay, I did what I was supposed to do. I talked about what I was supposed to talk about with my people. All right. I came up in moments. I did what I was supposed to do. So then you kind of get this type of attitude, probably, right? When the beef starts, right? The beef starts. And this wasn't even his beef to begin with. It was really Future and fucking Drake's beef and Metro's beef for real. Kendrick had nothing to do with it. Future is just fucking petty as fuck and decided to go ahead and get Kendrick Lamar in it. That's what it was. But, after he talking about fucked up Big Three, nigga, it's just Big Me. It was like, oh, okay, we get where you're coming from. J. Cole most likely saw a potential tour connection. All you guys, Big Three being together because, you guys pretty much are all the Big Three, and it's not like you guys have been been up rivalry, going back over each other for like a whole entire 20 years. Maybe Drake and Kendrick Lamar, but even Drake and Kendrick Lamar's beef back and forth is not like a Nas and Jay-Z or a Benny Siegel and other crews or whatever it is. It's not the same. It's not like a 50 Cent and other. It's not like the same. It's not. It's very a little bit more different, right? It's based off of the idea that Kendrick Lamar doesn't like Drake's personality. He doesn't like who he is when it comes to the culture. He doesn't like that Drake is not a father, even though he went ahead and did a whole entire song twice with a guy who's a terrible father named Playboy Cardi. It doesn't matter to him at the end of the day that Kendrick Lamar may not be, just, basically, glorifying himself as an individual, with wearing a whole entire crown of thorns, which is kind of crazy because in my personal opinion, I read the book, you're a Christian, I know I know what I'm talking about. I don't remember where this crown of thorns is supposed to be, cool. And then blood dripping from your face like that as well. Man, get that shit out of my face, bro. I don't want to see all that shit, bro. Right? You're not doing right, right? That's weird, right? And you're trying to frame it as artistic, right? But there's many ways to be artistic without doing that, right? Especially when you're wearing a fucking $1 million crown with diamonds. The other dude wore it with just fucking Vine. So I don't see the thing. Right? So to me personally, it's like glamorized and, resistance has become kind of like an aesthetic for Kendrick Lamar, in my personal opinion. I believe that, he definitely was looking for a way out, obviously leaving TDE and going into PG Lane. He wanted, a fresh start of, a boost to start PG Lane and shit like that as well. And, in my personal opinion, I just feel like, Kendrick Lamar, in my personal opinion, is a good artist. He's an amazing rapper. He's a top tier lyricist, but he is not the greatest of all time when it comes to rapping, simply due or being a rapper, simply due to the fact of, or even just because we have better. We have people who have done what he's done plus more. All right, you got someone like J. Cole, right? You got someone like J. Cole who literally goes ahead, starts off this whole entire thing with fucking multiple mixtapes, right? Makes Yours Truly, makes fucking Friday Night Lights, makes fucking, great fucking classics, right? Putting in work, right? I think he has more mixtapes than fucking Kendrick Lamar. Actually, I think he has more original songs written by himself than Kendrick Lamar, right? Then you go on the next thing. He goes ahead, he gets his shit up to the highest, right? I mean, he never really gets a cosign by Jay-Z, in my personal opinion. I mean, I guess to some extent, with him being on a song, but J. Cole really doesn't really, get a cosign from Jay-Z. Jay-Z's kind of like, I'll help you if you need me, but this is you really on your own. That's how Jay-Z approaches the business a lot of the time too as well, right? So, but you gotta give me a hit. You gotta give me a hit. Meanwhile, you got J. Cole being ostracized for not being able to give Jay-Z a hit, being made fun of at parties and shit like that as well. You got someone, like this, like Kendrick Lamar, being told that you're Compton savior, here's a torch, you better run with it, nigga, go, right? Just, by being in the West Coast, being with that influence, being in that, amount of that, that influence within that city, you just happen to have, that right time, right person, right place, right? I mean, it's just all connected and all together. So it makes sense, right? So then you got Snoop Dogg telling you good. You got Dr. Dre co-signing your shit. You got Andre 3K in your shit. You got, I mean, it's crazy, right? I mean, bro, they were giving him so much shit. They even had Lady Gaga on a fucking Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe, the original. Try to send him a verse, right? Crazy, right? So the thing about it is kind of like, all right, from the beginning, it was already seen that we were going to put a lot of work into him, right? For J. Cole, it was not seen like that. J. Cole immediately came into the game and was kind of like, I'm going to go ahead and put in, the amount of work I can stomach and do because I love the rap game. I love rapping. This is what I like to go ahead and do, but I don't need no cosigns. I don't want no cosigns. I like my own shit, right? I mean, he even made a whole entire song called Let Nas Down, right? Talk about, bro, I went ahead and did some fucking commercial shit and let my nigga Nas down. So let that go to show you where his mindset is at, right? He's like, for a song like Mr. Nice Watch or, whatever it may be, which, by the way, wasn't the worst song in the world, by the way. It was not the worst song in the world, right? It just wasn't rap to him. And so with that being said, at the end of the day, it felt like for him personally, if he can't embody what rap is to him from one of his favorite rappers, from the embodiment of rapping, Rakim, Nas, Mos Def, shit like that, nigga, I don't know what I'm doing. Right? Now, meanwhile, at the same time, you got Kendrick Lamar who's looking to go ahead and push forward and get the type of appeal so he can be named as, Compton savior, right? I'm the hip hop savior, right? I'm the hip hop savior, all stuff like that as well. I'm the chosen one. I'm the one up. They need to choose me, right? You don't know what you're talking about if you're not choosing me. So, J. Cole's still going at this time. But then you got J. Cole at the same time still dropping shit like Born Sinner, right? Going platinum, right? Then, after this happens, you go ahead and have Big Born Sinner. That's cool and all. Great album, by the way. In my personal opinion, if we going by first albums, I think Born Sinner was J. Cole's first. Nah, I think Sideline Story was J. Cole's first real album for real. So I'll probably say I like Sideline Story more than I liked I feel like Born Sinner was his first album. We'll go and we'll fact check that. But basically, I either way I enjoyed either Sideline or Born Sinner more than I enjoyed Section 80 as the first project, my personal opinion, right? But I did love Section 80 though. I did like the concept, stuff like that as well. And immediately you could probably just tell where the direction of both of these individuals were going from both of their music, right? If you like rap, like, boom bap, I want to hear your bars, spit, go and do what you gotta do, you won't like J. Cole. If you liked artistry and a different medium and you were like an artistic expressionist individual and you were like, but you were black, you're probably gonna like someone like Kendrick Lamar, right? That's what it's kind of like with these albums, right? So like I said before, it would automatically give the type of idea that, you know, Kendrick Lamar is going to be a moment-based guy, right? Moment-based guy. He's going to come in with moments that are fucking amazing, fucking crazy. He's going to burn the house down, but he's not going to be here for a very long time. Because if you look at Section 80, the track list isn't long, and also at the same time as well, there are a lot of sleepers, in my personal opinion, on that album, right? Great album, but as comparison to Born Sinner or Sideline Story, there are sleepers, all right? And I just can't get around because I'm just not in that conscious mood. I just want to listen to rap and hear some conscious topics, you know? But that's, you know, pretty much it. So then, you know, you got like that happening. Then you got J. Cole still pushing forward. J. Cole still gonna go ahead. J. Cole still went to a fucking new level. And while this dude drops, obviously, To Pimp a Butterfly, my nigga J. Cole goes ahead and drops fucking 2014 For Also Drive and goes platinum with no features, nigga. Come on. So he basically did what you did and then did it with no features. That's basically what he did right there, right? So that's another one I gotta go ahead and put in there, right? To Pimp a Butterfly, it's a classic. It's a great album, right? But once again, you know, I truly do feel like, I'm not even going to pass on it, because, you know, like I said before, it was a moment. It was a great moment in history. It was a great moment in time period. It was a great moment for everything, you know. But like I said before, you know, To Pimp a Butterfly, you know, it was a very moment-based album, and it will be forever. You know, but it's really good. It's really good to listen to. I love To Pimp a Butterfly. You can't hate on it. I would be crazy just to hate on it. But, you know, you got To Pimp a Butterfly, right? Then you move from To Pimp a Butterfly to the other spectrum, where you got this man talking about really, you know, his childhood development, and, like, you know, again, someone who's rapping, and then art expression. He wants to talk about all the consciousness, Hollywood mixed with the black people, and also the euphemisms and God and all this mash into one. This is what he does, right? And this is what makes him a great MC, right? But sometimes it's so heavy that the replayability may not be high. And that's what I gotta say about To Pimp a Butterfly. It's a great album, but the replayability is low because it's so much to take in. 2014 For Also Drive, though, unfortunately, I cannot say the same thing. Thing about it is that it has great replayability. I can listen to that album multiple times over and over and over again, right? Has basically no skips on me. I think the only skip I would probably do is Wet Dreams, and that's you know, that's if I want to, right? But it's a replayable album. There's a lot of good bops, a lot of good hits in there like that as well, right? You know, you got one track in Kendrick Lamar shit that, you know, definitely has some replayability in it, which is I Love Myself. But like I said before, you know, again, it's a part of a bigger theme. So it's harder to want to replay that album just to get to I, when there's so many things that are like, ugh. All right, gotta wait, right? You gotta wait for him to start speaking. Yo, love you complicated. Love you's complicated. Love you's complicated. Like, it's not, you know, I mean, it's great, it's artistic, but no one's like out here like, love you's complicated. Love you's complicated. Like, no. We're over here, you know, Your Highness, Your Highness, you know, and then, you know, January 28th. You know, we're over listening to January 28th, right? More than this dick ain't free. You know, we're not, you know, it's artistic. It makes sense. But again, there's a difference. So then he makes that. Then J. Cole moves forward. J. Cole continues. What does J. Cole do next? Okay, he's like, you know what? I'm going to go into my city, document my people, speak with them, talk with them. I'm going to go ahead and try to speak with them, talk with them. Here we go. I'm going to make For Your Eyes Only. And he makes For Your Eyes Only, documenting, talking about, you know, just, in my personal opinion, a very similar artistic way that he was trying to do something similar that Kendrick Lamar was doing, right? And in my personal opinion, I believe For Your Eyes Only is an underrated album. It does not get the love that it should be getting, right? Because it touches among so many themes, so many different things. Like, I think, in my personal opinion, one of the greatest songs on that album is literally called Folding Clothes. And Folding Clothes is a pretty, like, you know, song, because it's a, you know, it's crazy how he made that song sound really good, because in my personal opinion, folding clothes is a really basic idea. But the thing about it is kind of like, most niggas is not folding clothes. Most niggas is not folding clothes with their girl, you know, especially back in the day, right? So it's kind of like, you know, he's able to kind of flip the everyday thing that you would do in a common way and kind of put humanism, and love in it, right? And humility in it, right? And that's what kind of makes his shit stretch very, very well when it comes to shit like that as well. But it's always seen as corny from a lot of other people. And by the way, I think the wrong people be saying stuff like that as well. It's not corny, it's not corny to want to live a peaceful life, especially when I think, in my personal opinion, J. Cole views it from the objective of, blacks have been struggling for a very long time. Why not try to get into those spaces that, you see Caucasians get into, which is, being happy that, be happy that, be happy about that, right? Be happy about, being able to spend time with your family, fold clothes, shit like that as well, right? Shit that may have been seen as lame, right? Again, he goes into the city, Fayetteville, talks to the people. There's even videos of him speaking, talking to people, working with people, right? This is the type of shit I'm talking about, right? He's in the city, on the ground with the people, speaking to them. Then he goes ahead and moves forward. What does he do next? Then he goes on this fucking crazy ass, fucking feature run, right? He makes, well, I wouldn't say that. He makes KOD, right? Because he, again, tries to make a message for the kids, right? He notices that this generation, I don't understand what people are missing or something, bro. Like, he tried to go ahead and help out this generation. He saw that they were on lean, on drugs. He tried to make an album called KOD, Kids on Drugs, KOD, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And it was a good album, But once again, right, it wasn't for everybody. People kept trying to say he's switching, he this, he that. It was like, well, which one do you want? Like, you were mad that that he couldn't do something artistic. Now he's trying different flows, different schemes, different type of stuff, singing a little bit more, using, doing Kill Edward, right? Just like, someone like, doing on his own original shit, right? And like, they just hated on him. But when Kendrick Lamar was doing it, it was like, nah. And I truly believe the reason why people feel this way is because of how they both got the fucking start off. J. Cole, when he first started off, was not cradled. He was pushed, right? Get the fuck out there and start rapping. Kendrick Lamar, on the other hand, he was not, pushed. He was kind of like, this is our baby, TDE's baby. We cannot, let this one go, right? And so this kind of gave the idea that, he is the golden child. He's the one that will be used for hip hop, right? Versus someone like J. Cole, who, got pushed out and just started, all right, let me go ahead and try to gain my foot, and I'll rap 3 mixtapes. All right, I'll make another album. All right, I'll make another album. And meanwhile, these bitches is going platinum with no features. Who else? This is what I'm talking about. This is solely his words. His words is impressing niggas enough to go platinum with no features. I don't need no other individual. I don't need Zachary. I don't need U2. I don't need fucking SZA. I don't need, I don't need that. I don't need that. But you'll hear people talk about Kendrick Lamar all day. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. I love Kendrick. 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 It's like, bro, okay, we get it. But like, he does, I feel like he outsources more of his repertoire to get, much more back so that you guys can make him feel like he's the best rapper of all time. But in all reality, he isn't really even doing anything similar to what this guy's doing. This man went ahead, did that, made 3 albums, platinum, no features, then went ahead and made a fucking record label. Then after made the record label, got people signed, then got them signed, then got them all paid to where they don't even gotta rap that long for. Then did 3 fucking albums with him, Revenge of the Dreamers 1, 2, and 3. So I'm like, hold on a second. All right, so he helping people get paid. He made his own record label, right? He did that shit. He made his own shoe with the Pumas, all right? He completed his own dreams, started playing basketball, showing you that, you could do your shit at any age. Just because you're old doesn't mean you can't do anything. How is this nigga not the better rapper? I don't get it. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I get it, but I don't get it. And then he does all this stuff. And then meanwhile, you go back to Kendrick Lamar. What's Kendrick Lamar doing? Nigga, fuck the big 3. Nigga, it just make me. Nigga, bro. Bro, you haven't even come out with an album in the last, bro, can you come out and start rapping more before you start talking about everyone need to start doing this for you? You weren't even on a feature run. The nigga did a feature run for you guys. We start rapping with the old and the new. It's like, what more do you want from the guy? He did the feature run. Trying to bridge the connection. He's a dude that doesn't make that shit just for spectacle. You know, he's the dude that says it about Lil Pump and then brought him on brought him to the shelter, which is his studio, to go ahead and have a conversation with them, with the people. Showing that there ain't really no beef. Kendrick Lamar will not do that, though. Kendrick Lamar's not a bridger for hip hop. And this is why I have to let people know for where it's at. You know, making him untouchable is what's hurting hip hop in general. Okay? Because, you know, he's not really doing much. It's artistic. It's beautiful. It's nice to look at. But he really isn't doing anything. I mean, you know, he came in. He has what? With TDE, you know, I say pretty much after Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers came out, right? So he made Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, in which he started, you know, wearing the crown and saying that he's, you know, not anyone's savior, which is so crazy to me because I was kind of like, no one saw you as a savior. You literally came out talk about, I'm Compton's savior, I'm hip hop savior. You know, literally in the Control verse, you over here talk about, I'm this, I'm that, I'm the icon, I'm like all this other shit like this. Well, so it's like, you know, you talk about people are expecting something of you. No one's expecting anything of you. You just been cradled a lot to the point where you believe that idea, but you perpetuated that idea when you started rapping to begin with, Kendrick. So just take the title and do what you're supposed to do with it. No one's asking you. Talking about, like, it's like, I'm not your savior. Bro, clearly no one thought that of you. You literally leave every 5 years, 4 years, and come back later whenever you want to and still get whichever you want. And still get a Grammy. Bro, you can do whatever you want. No one saw you as that. Then we go ahead and move forward, you know? And by the way, I've never seen anyone, I thought he'd be getting a Grammy simply because he's black and the Grammys is fully white and want him to go ahead and basically show, hey, look, guys, this is the person we really want you to look at. This is really the rapper. You know, he's the better rapper. He's the real guy that you should be looking at for real. You know, we want him, you know, even though I'm like, but J. Cole was just out like literally like multiple times this year and no one even, okay. Anyway, it had the same hype. Same hype. So anyway, as we push forward, we look forward and we see Kendrick Lamar isn't even, what is Kendrick Lamar even doing, right? He goes ahead, he beats Drake. He says, you know, I got to defeat Drake. I got to go beat Drake. And, you know, I got to, you know, basically go ahead and take back, rap. I got to take back rap, right? I've been gone. You know, I made Mr. Brown the Big Steppers. I look at Drake as like a dragon I got to slay. If I can slay him and all this other shit, you know, it'll be cool, right? I'll be looked at as like the bigger individual and I can go ahead and do what I got to do. So he got mad at Drake for basically being around for basically longer than he has been consistently when it came to making music. He doesn't like the music that he was making, even though it has nothing to do with anything anti-black, even though it has nothing to do with anything that, you know, is crazy. He's not going after Tom McDonald. He's not going after someone like that. He's going after someone like Drake. And even though Drake, you know, ultimately cross-pollinates for different genres and has talked about it in multiple interviews, and he's talked about it. If you haven't watched the Rap Radar interview, please watch that. You'll definitely get to understand how he thinks as an individual and as an artist, fully without bias. Then you can also go ahead and start thinking to yourself, okay, well, that's why he probably moves the way he does. And for Kendrick Lamar to be criticizing him simply after this guy's talking about Jesus, guys like that as well, wearing the cross and shit like that as well, you're a hypocrite. I don't want to hear about you. Anyway, let's go ahead, you know. Please. We also don't want to hear about all the other shit about Compton, because you really don't do much. It's not like your Nipsey Hussle. You have not done nothing for Compton. You haven't done anything for Compton. Nothing. Private donations, little bits of instruments to people in the school, like that. Bro, you're not helping out incarcerated people get out of jail and give them a job like Nipsey Hussle. You ain't creating no Crenshaw Boulevard. You ain't pulling out no new moves in terms of, you know, of selling and distribution like Macomie. You're not doing nothing. You're not really doing anything. You're an aesthetic of resistance. You know, and so that's what it kind of becomes to at some point, because again, you got someone like Baby Keem. Baby Keem said in the interview, hey, you know, Kendrick Lamar told me not to release my verses for real, and just keep them. Bro, if you don't fucking rap, bro, and go out there, if you good, you good. Who gives a fuck who's your cousin is? You're a good rapper. That's what it is. You know, but he didn't want to do that. He wanted him to stay behind and stay quiet and not rap. That's that mindset. I don't like that. Disgusting. Next one, we got Kendrick Lamar move to the next one, right? What's the next thing he does, right? We got him using Baby Keem. And it's so crazy to me because we all know, and I know and you know, that Kendrick Lamar has been using Baby Keem All right, Kendrick Lamar has been using Baby Keem to definitely influence his already good repertoire in his flow. He definitely did feel like he was getting stale. He definitely did feel like he was getting, something like that as well. Because I'm telling you right now, when I listen to Baby Keem, I don't really get an influence of Kendrick Lamar. But when I listen to Kendrick Lamar, I get an influence of Baby Keem nowadays. Right? And that goes to show you that probably he did go ahead and work with him a lot when it came to making music, making tracks, things like that as well. At the same time, well, this guy's criticizing, Drake for, talk about, tell people step to the side and stuff like that as well. Bro, if you don't go get your cousin, bro, and make hillbillies, and try out different rap schemes, shit like that as well, so you can go ahead and cross-pollinate and get away from that conscious shit, because that conscious shit ain't making you that much money anymore, because you keep dipping and running away every 5 fucking years, and you can't really stay and keep a candle to it. So we gotta go ahead and move on to the next thing. Meanwhile, you got someone like J. Cole. You got your ass. He got PG Lang. I don't see nobody at all getting fucking help. He's in TDE. Absol ain't get on tour. Schoolboy Q ain't get on tour. Tell me why Schoolboy Q and Absol made an album literally in less than maybe a year, 2 years ago, right? 3 years ago. Or maybe 2 years ago at this point, right? Maybe close to 3. And he's going to bring SZA out on the GNX tour. And that motherfucker's album came out in 2022. Are you going to, bro, where's the respect for you? But you going to bring out Doechii? Then you going to say Doechii's the hardest rapper out, and she not even freestyling and rapping like you in your heyday. How is she the hardest rapper out? She not even rapping a lot of the time. She's doing this and talking like this and doing this because I'm Doechii, and that's what's happening. And that's cool. But, I'm looking for rappers like Dreamville. Like, I'm looking for rappers. Like, I want to rap. I want to hear rap, I don't want to hear that artsy. I'm not in that artsy craft shit, That's the pocket that they're in, right? And in all reality, if J. Cole started basically using some lyrical lemonade shit, started getting more in-house people and directors and creatives, bro, like the Fallout video, there will be no talk or conversation about it anymore. There will be a lot more of a better conversation. But because J. Cole is raw, pure rap cocaine on the ground, he's just going to rap on the bars and do like that as well, and work with that no vocal sound effects, none of that as well. That's what's going to come from J. Cole. That's what you're going to get from him. So in my personal opinion, J. Cole is the better rapper than Kendrick Lamar. He's written more originally than J. Cole. He's written more originally than Kendrick Lamar, his songs of his own. He has had multiple albums with no features and has went platinum. He has went ahead and helped out his own people and artists, so he became the biggest artist, went ahead and went back down, brung up multiple artists, and then pushed them and got them all paid. Then at the same time went ahead and continued and lived his own dream. And he didn't tear nobody down. He didn't have to go ahead and sell out. He didn't have to go ahead and wear the crown of Jesus. He didn't have to go ahead and start wearing diamonds. But the nigga's still going ahead and riding bicycles in New York City. Bro, he didn't have to do all that, bro. And then also at the same time, you got someone like Kendrick Lamar getting on the biggest stage of all time talking about, I love Tupac. Bro, do you think Tupac will perform his 2 most commercially sounding albums on the fucking Super Bowl if he had the opportunity to? No, but your diluted ass did, and that's what I'm fucking talking about. No one wants to talk about that. No one wants to go ahead and talk about that. Right? This guy played GNX, the album that basically no one had even barely heard at the point. Then he goes and he plays what? What's the next thing he plays? What? Damn, a little bit of Damn from something, and that's it, right? Maybe, and don't forget the commercially successful Black Panther album. With SZA, so it's kind of like, what happened to, why can't I hear Institutionalized? Why can't I hear All Right? Why can't I hear, especially All Right wasn't played. When I didn't hear All Right being played, I was like, oh yeah, you're washed. You're getting whitewashed. You're getting diluted. You're not the same guy as I knew from in the beginning. It's not the same Kendrick, right? But you have people believing it is because they're holding on to the past to make of a new, but not looking at of a new. But they're going to catch up, and they're going to see, GNX is not that really great of a project. It's good, but definitely doesn't, really add anything to the culture. It sounds like a victory lap. Once again, like, it just is like very hypocritical to keep hearing about Kendrick Lamar being put in these spaces when, like, literally, I think Dottie even said, like, that's nothing changed my life after I got that feature. The fuck? Meanwhile, you get a Drake feature, changes your whole entire life. but we listening to you. And like, it's just like, can you do something? You know, when will Kendrick Lamar do something, you know, that's tangible, that's not hidden underground, as so that you can kind of interpret the mystique? Like, bro, you've done your work. Make tangibles. That's it. J. Cole's better than you. We'll call it a day. And yeah, that's it. People aren't ready for that discussion, though, by the way. A lot of people are not ready for that discussion. I mean, he even critiqued his own fucking idol, Kanye West, you know, with being able to instill, you know, inspire people. Like, it made it a lesson, right? That's what rap is about. Creating lessons that people can learn from that, right? You talking about they not like us, they not like us, they not like us. I don't know if you noticed this, Drake is part black. So he may not be like us, but he definitely is a part of us. So I don't know why you were trying to do this whole entire race barrier breaking thing, but that's the type of perpetuating cycle that you want to keep bringing to the rap game. We've been dealing with this for over 30 years. So that's what I'm talking about. Kendrick Lamar, you fucking suck. Bye-bye. Have a great day.